oh, this goofy gun grabbers right here is going to get you hot.
Yeah, this one's going to be a little spicy. So let's jump on over to, let me take a look at my notes here. Let's get old Jess up if we can, Doc. Yeah, this is number 7. And Jess Piper, I kind of follow her. She's an anti-gunner on X, and she's always good for gems like this one. And of course, we were talking about the shooting that took place in Kansas City after the Chiefs' victory at the World Series. Yes, I know it's a Super Bowl. I just make fun of me not liking sports. But anyway, the anti-gunners have been making fun of, prodding, criticizing the governor of Missouri because when the shooting broke out, he took cover. Okay. So he's pro-gun, but he took cover. He's a coward. Well, Jess, sweetheart, you know who else takes cover when people start shooting? Soldiers. Because anybody with 2 brain cells to rub together realizes that if somebody's shooting potentially at you, you might want to get behind something harder than the bullet that's coming towards you.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. It generally standing there like, I don't know, there was this movie and this character called Kilgore. Doc, is there a video clip you can throw up? I think this is what Jess thinks gun owners should do if they receive incoming fire. Can we throw that clip up really quick, Doc?
What do you know about surfing, Major?
I'm gonna get out there and surf. I mean, that's what she thinks. Apparently, the governor should have done. Just stood there with his Stetson on and just like, yeah, I'm a gun owner. I don't take cover. I mean,
but you know what's interesting about that is if we kind of cross correlate gun controller to gun controller, get a full dynamic, a full dichotomy of stupid, if you will. Davey Hogg, I think he was actually assaulting the police officers verbally on Twitter for doing almost nothing, but 800 of them ran directly towards the gunfire.
Literally, yeah. He called them all cowards with guns. We covered that. Mm-hmm. And if you watch any of the video, there is a sea of officers running towards the gunfire, right?
Yep.
But he has it in his mind that, you know, what they're trying to debunk here, folks, is the notion of a good guy with a gun, right? That's something that the two-way side says all the time. If a good guy with a gun had been there, this could have been averted, right? And so police get lumped into that. And so when this happens and the police aren't immediately able to stop it because maybe they're not standing right next to the perpetrator was perhaps smart enough to distance themselves from anybody in uniform before they committed their act. Well, then the police are cowards and the good guy with the gun thing just doesn't hold water. So in essence, they're advocating for like what Davey over at K-12 Shooting Database advocates for. Security doesn't really do anything. Security at schools never work. And it's not like security at airports work or security at the White House works. Security is a joke. We don't need it. Just get rid of guns and get rid of security. And then we just all live in kumbaya in a happy communist commune.
Wow.
Rant.
That was a good one. It's okay. I was letting it roll. I was letting it ride.
I know you're like,
no, but
he's on one now.
No, we're good. We said the word communist, and I'll see you in 25 minutes. No, I love it. I go team. I'm here for it. But I think that's a very valid point that you brought up. They're actually trying to make the point that someone who would get down during gunfire is a coward and not a gun owner, and therefore we shouldn't have gun rights because he got down under incoming fire. Like, you guys are reaching hard. And I look forward to continue to make you reach while we just destroy you and build up our gun rights for the next generation. No big deal, whatever. Hey, Tim, I would like to put a preference on this first, or a prefacing warning on this first one, if I may.
Sure.
On this next one, I'm very offended that Brady would do this, and it turns out that they are terrible. And this is not condoned by Second Legacy, but we've got to tell you because they have made some very, very mean tweets about a very, very special month. And I am offended deeply. Yeah. Please continue.
So February is Black History Month. And in celebration of Black History Month, Brady, United Against Gun Violence, made the following tweet, number 9, Doc. They say, our new study finds that despite making up just 14% of the U.S. population, Black Americans account for 60% of firearm homicides each year. They don't talk about the victims. Anyway, honoring Black history means ending gun violence. Learn more about the facts that make us act. If you take the time and swing by and check out this tweet, because I believe it's still up as of this recording.
Oh, it is. It is.
Read the comments. And
oh my God,
they're brutal.
Smoked.
They are brutal. So in celebration of Black History Month, we're going to point out this. And
Yep.
yeah, was not well received. Let's just put it that way.
No, but they kept it up.
They did.
Like,
They did.
They're just doubling down. They're like, nope, I'm good. This is Black History Month, and we are going to talk about how a disproportionate effect on this population. It's for the February guys. Like, this is if the gun controllers don't come out and at least call this out. I mean, like, this is overt racism, overt. But no, we can't. No, it's okay because they're gun controllers.
But here's the other thing. I would disagree that statistics are racist. Numbers aren't racist.
No, they told me it was.
Right?
They told me it was.
But what we see here in this tweet is something they refuse to talk about ever. And look, the violence that they're talking about here isn't driven by skin color, okay?
Nope.
It is not. It has nothing to do with race. It has to do with socioeconomic and like being in a city versus being in rural areas where people are packed in on top of each other. It has to do with drug wars and turf wars and gang violence and all this stuff. We've already covered the fact that gangs aren't all black.
Right.
They come from every ethnicity. So, but the fact that they post this in February is truly tasteless, in my opinion. Right?
Oh,
I don't see statistics and facts as being racist, but I do think that this was poorly timed.
Lie?
What's that?
You mean I bought the lie? This isn't racist?
No, because if you go to number 10,
they told me it was.
Gun
Facts.
Facts,
it was, though.
Gun Facts, a great X account, had a response to this, which puts a little bit more detail around it. So if we could throw up number 10, Doc, Gun Facts shows a chart that we would encourage you guys to take a look at here. It says the primary reason from a purely statistical basis is street gang activity. Using street gang demographic data from the National Gang Violence Center, we estimated that as much as 85% of gun homicides are street gang related or nexus. It is reflected in the chart below. So, yeah, strange. Something we've been saying for some time. Now, again,
that's 85%. Hold on. While you do that, I'm gonna do some math. Keep going.
Well, they're just talking about homicides here, right? They're actually talking about the victim. Where in the previous tweet, where old Brady's talking about, they're talking about the shooter, the trigger puller, but they don't talk about how many of the victims are black, Hispanic, whatever, white, right? They always want to leave that out. Anyway, so he talks about the whole picture, and then that's what this chart talks about. And again, you can look at this chart and people will say, well, but this totally out of hand, dismiss it as racist. I can go back into when I attended community college, I took criminology and criminal justice, and I'll never forget the professor stood up and said, I'm going to give you some FBI statistics. And then we're going to have a discussion about these statistics. And he quoted similar statistics that Brady just quoted, right? A black girl stood up in class and admonished the professor for being a racist piece of junk and stormed out of the class to the dean's office to get, put into a different class or something. So this is a common tactic to the left. We can never talk about the core problems, the gang violence and the issues that might be going on that's related to our larger cities versus our rural areas. We can never address that because immediately that doesn't fit the narrative they want to push. They'll just label you as a racist, dismiss it out of hand, and they'll just continue to push for gun control. It's not the guns, people. Mm-hmm. Guns don't pull their own triggers. But because we refuse and we try to shout down and call everybody a racist that tries to talk about the actual problem and how we can address it and fix it, well, now you're just a bigot, and we got to go back to banning guns.
Yeah. Well, I did some math while you were talking, Tim. Okay. Interesting. About 20,000 homicides occurred last year. We've covered this. It's roughly 85% of that would be 17,000. So are you telling me that in a nation of how many people now?
330 million.
50 million?
Yeah.
330 million? Only 3,000 were actual homicides outside of gangs? Are you trying to tell me, Tim, that is true?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Let me do some more math just for the people. 3,000 divided by 330 million. There's a lot of zeros in there. I don't know if I can hold the 9.
The calculator go there.
I got you. Yeah, I got you. So just so you know, if it's 3,000 out of a population of 330 million, those numbers are 0.0000009% of the population.
Yeah, I think that classifies.
We should probably take all the gun rights away.
Yeah.
We should probably take all the guns away. That is 5 zeros.
We will not address the gang problem, the inner city violence problem that's driving the vast majority of these crimes. Instead, we're just going to focus on the guns and criminalize the law abiding by taking away their rights. Does that
Man.
Make sense to anybody? I
I
mean,
mean, like, really, does it?
they don't want
So
to
it's
fix the
not
problem. They
racism?
need the problem because that's how they're going to get your guns. They will never
Wait,
address
so-
the core problem, actually try to help people or try to actually save lives, because that might get in the way of their agenda. So instead,
So it's not racism.
no, it's not.
Oh, man. Are you saying that I bought the lie earlier? Oh, my goodness.
But see, that's what the
It's
left does.
almost
It's a
like-
common tactic. If they don't like what you're saying, you're a racist, and that's how they dismiss you.
Oh, it
Yep.
totally is. It totally is. Hey, can I do this last one of gun grabbers?
Yeah.
I'm proud of this one.
Yes.
I'm proud of this one. Thanks, dude. Just gonna grab the wheel real quick. This is number 11 from Giffords.org, one of my favorite .orgs. Quote, the gun lobby is fond of saying we don't need any more gun laws. Fine, then let's have one fewer. Repeal the PLCAA and allow communities to hold gun makers in the same standard as literally every other company. Giffords board member. Man.
Yeah.
Well, Giffords board member. How about no?
Yeah. I mean,
And then,
oh, go ahead.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No,
I was just going to rant a little bit.
No,
You know, I just
please.
wanted
I've been
to.
ranting all day. Go.
Okay, you did. I know. I wanted to get my fair share because we are egalitarian now, apparently. So we don't need any more gun laws. Fine. Okay. So no more gun laws? Because the PLCAA is a federal one. So you guys are still kind of pushing a whole lot on the state level. And there's a lot of other companies that are also immune from any type of lawsuits and any type of thing from their product, like, I don't know, drug companies.
Yeah.
Can't talk about that one.
Nope. You can take the Fauci ouchie, but you can't, there's no recourse there if it causes problems. That's not uncommon. But if we were to apply, the whole reason this law exists is because the anti-gunners like Giffords have been trying to use the courts to punish gun companies, right? Saying that it's a gun company's fault for the products they manufacture that people misuse them. That's like saying you're fat because the fork company irresponsibly sold you a fork to shovel food in your face, or that perhaps we should sue car manufacturers into oblivion because of drunk drivers, or somebody that speeds and misuses their product and kills people, which happens far more common, or far more often, I should say.
That's right.
Yeah, if you take a look at the numbers we were just talking about. So that will not happen. And what they're saying here is like every other company, name that company, sweetie. I would like to know who that is. Are you gonna sue the companies? How about the airline manufacturers? Sue them. Sue the car manufacturers. Sue alcohol manufacturers. Let's just sue everybody.
You know what? You mentioned something interesting, Tim. You know what we should probably do? We should probably ban alcohol again and see how well that worked out. You know, that was
they don't learn.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that worked out.
Because banning thing is clearly the way to go. So you thought there was a bad reaction when you banned alcohol? Woo! Go after our rights.
But I mean, you look at alcohol. The ban on various drugs like marijuana and stuff like that. That's been going on longer than the prohibition did on alcohol. And what? So you had prohibition gave rise to what? Organized crime. Organized crime that is with us to this day. Okay, and then we have the war on drugs. And what has the war on drugs given us? The gang violence we're talking about here. Most of these acts of violence are drug turf wars, gang members fighting over territory. That's what this boils down to. So every time you go out there, so if you were to follow again and ban all guns, what do you think the outcome would be? Criminal organizations would rise up, just like in a previous episode we talked about in Australia. They would manufacture guns for criminals, and guess who wouldn't have guns to protect themselves? You. That's what they accomplish with all these bans. I'm sorry.
All they're doing is they're creating a vacuum in the system, and they're creating a demand for an entrepreneur to come in and satisfy that need. And all they're really doing is making the price go up, which leads to more illegal activity to propagate those funds in order to do it. This is a well-known statistical, analytical, and economic business model. It has been proven over hundreds of years. Can we please stop? It's not about anything but your control. You're dumb. How about you?
Yep. Well, anyway, gosh, what a frustrating episode. It's like I got so wound up there. Mostly because of those darn communists.
I mentioned communist.
Yeah.
I mentioned communist. It's not good. It's not good when I mention communist around Tim. It's like a Pavlovian response.
A quick funny story before we close out, because we're running long here, but we were at a gun rally, and one of the attendees came up to Jason, my cameraman, and said, "Hey, I want to run over and say hi to Tim, but I'm a member of the Socialist Gun Owners Club," or something like that. And Jason said to him with a straight face, like, "I wouldn't tell him that."
Don't lead with that.
Don't lead with that. Go say hi to him. But he's not going to be too into that. And in all reality, I wouldn't have said anything to the guy. I just would have smiled, shook his hand, taken a picture with him or whatever, right? But it was just funny that Jason would say that, because Jason has heard me go off on way too many anti-communist rants while we're sitting in the cars for 10 hours going across country to whatever event it is. All right, folks. Thank you for watching Second Legacy, and we'll talk to you guys soon.